the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast.
Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Thursday, the 20th of May, 2021. Okay, guys, I thought I'd give you an update and the call to action before I move on to other news on the Second Amendment Preservation Act here in the beautiful state of Missouri, the great state of Missouri. And the first thing is basically, let's keep calling the governor and emailing the governor. And we want to be nice as we're calling the governor. We have no reason to believe that he would veto this. This is an extremely popular bill. Probably the most popular bill the state of Missouri has ever seen before. Not just by co-sponsors, but by emails, by phone calls, possibly even by visits. So down below in this page here, you'll have the telephone number to call the governor's office, and then the link right down here to email the governor. You got to fill out a form to email the governor, apparently. So, and if I find an email address, I believe Aaron Dorr might even have the email address. So I thought I'd give you the state of SAPA. And this is, there's a lot of confusion out there as to what's going on with SAPA. SAPA has not been delivered to the governor yet. On the 29th of this month, and I got this information from a very good source, the 29th of this month is when the House and the Senate sign off on SAPA to bring to the governor. So that begins a 45-day period that he has to either sign it, ignore it, or veto it. So that takes us all the way to July 14th, I believe. So, guys, I know that there's a lot of people saying that it's the end of this month or the 1st of June, what have you. That would not be correct. The governor hasn't even seen this bill on his desk yet because it's not been delivered from the House and the Senate, which will be done, my understanding is, the 29th of this month. And that activates a 45-day window for the governor to do something with the bill. So, remember I made a prediction that the governor would probably do a pomp and circumstance, kind of full court press kind of a deal on July 4th. So maybe that's what he has planned. I mean, I just don't know. But and maybe that's why there's a delay in delivering this to his desk to make sure that there's enough time so he can hit July 4th. I don't know. But one thing I do know is when we contact the governor's office, there's no reason to be uncivil at all. So we can be civil and incredibly enthusiastic about this bill. That's what I'm doing. So God help anyone having to deal with my enthusiasm for more than 2 minutes though, right guys? So that's the status of the bill, and the call to action is still the same. Let's call and let's email the governor. Let's let him know we want SAPA, and please do sign it immediately as soon as you can, sir. So that's the message. Now a little bit of SAPA news. Now Mark McCluskey, many of you guys know him as, the man and the woman, the McCluskeys, that were holding guns, basically as Antifa had broken the gate on the front side of their property and actually started going onto their property. Mark McCluskey is actually running for the Senate in Missouri because Roy Blunt is retiring. Thank God. Roy Blunt is retiring. Thank God, because we couldn't seem to get rid of him. Now, before everyone gets really excited about this candidacy, my friends, a couple of friends of mine, and myself are going to be looking a little harder into this guy because he definitely has some extremely strong Democratic ties. Although he is saying he's Republican and everything, I have no reason to not take him at his word. But he has a lot of strong ties to very powerful Democrats. So we'll take a real close look at him and let you know whether or not he's a viable candidate for the state of Missouri. And the reason why I brought him up on a SAPA show is because he did make an appearance during one of the SAPA hearings to actually pitch for SAPA. So we give him credit where credit is due. He and his wife came and told the story of what happened, how the St. Louis Police Department had completely failed them, and absolutely their requests for help on their property 3 days before they knew Antifa was coming through fell on deaf ears. The police would do nothing. They went out and bought their guns literally a day or two, before the protest, that ended up on their front property. So when the McCluskeys they tried to charge them, but with standard ground law we have here in Missouri, they really couldn't charge them with anything. In fact, Kim Gardner has been relieved of pretty much all of her cases, and there is a rumor going around that she's about to become disbarred. Now, she was a prosecutor in St. Louis that went up against the McCloskeys and had to work for weeks to even find something to charge them with because they were in full compliance of the law. Okay, so enough about that. More news about the McCloskeys will be coming up at a later date when we get some more information. Okay, Missouri Times, 2 articles, and they were fulsome in their praise from the Lieutenant Governor, Mike Keogh, and basically giving Senators Roden and Schatz a lot of credit for getting SAPA legislation done. There's actually 2 stories about that, and I find that rather curious because we just lived through this. We saw what happened with SAPA. We saw what Schatz and Roden were doing. Now, I'm not going to get into talking about them at this time. I'm concentrating on getting the bill signed by the governor. That's more important right now than anything else right now. So just keep in mind, gang, I know the score, and we'll talk about it later. So you can trust me on that. Okay, next point of business is from Casey Rich. Casey Rich, great guy from Kansas City. He met up with us in Jefferson City the day we did Knock and Shock. And but at any rate, he actually put something in here that I really wanted to share with you guys. Basically, he said, from now on, supporting SAPA-type legislation should be the new benchmark for any politician to say they are pro-Second Amendment. I agree. We're going to get into that in a little bit more here. Owning guns or getting good grades from the NRA isn't going to cut it anymore. So true. Where was the NRA when Missouri was going through this extremely painful, long process of getting SAPA legislation done when it was incredibly popular and everyone wanted it? That's a good question. I have an answer for you, and it comes along with the other things I'll talk about later after we get SAPA completed. But I've let my NRA membership lapse. So that's as far as I'm willing to take it right now at this point. I will tell you that I'm definitely in the Missouri Firearms Coalition. I'm a member there, but I am not sending any more money to the NRA. But that membership I had lapsed about 2 years ago, and that was a 5-year membership, and I was tending to buy in 5-year increments. So I am not interested in the NRA anymore. They did not help us out with SAPA. In fact, they didn't support SAPA last year. They made one visit to Jeff City last year. And I've been told not to be so hard on the NRA, but I'm just calling out the facts here. They made one visit to Jeff City. Our representative for our area from the NRA made one visit to Jeff City last year, and they wouldn't support SAPA. So make of that what you will. Okay, next order of business. Guys, SAPA legislation's all over the United States, but the bills are weak. This is not good news I'm reporting right now. I wish I could report better news. But I am going to link up for you the Oklahoma version of SAPA, which has no teeth. Has no teeth at all. And it does not give me any pleasure to report this to you. But I do want to echo this for one reason. Because the Missouri bill has teeth. There are ramifications. There are consequences to those who would break the law, where the new SAPA law. If a sheriff's deputy or a police officer or a state trooper or a court official from Missouri actually helps the federal government in doing any federal, enforcement of any federal gun laws, there are severe ramifications. Fines of $50,000 per incident. So I think that's something that we have that's really special. Now, I'm not saying their bills are bad, but I'm saying what's the point of doing the bills if there are no ramifications for state officials helping the federal government enforce federal gun laws? That's the point of the bill. If you want the Fed out, you have to literally incentivize your people in the state to not work with the Fed. That's the whole point of the anti-commandeering doctrine. Refusing, basically resources in your state, refusing their participation with federal activities. That's the point. So, and it's not just in the Oklahoma bill, it's the Montana bill, which I have to make a correction. I believe a couple of months ago I told you guys the Montana bill was strong. It was a good bill. I read it over. They don't have any teeth either. It's a better written bill, to be sure. I'll link it down below, and I won't bore you guys with reading it. You guys can read it yourselves, but no teeth. No teeth, gang. So, I'm really sad to report that because there's really no point in the bill anymore in these states. So what we have here in Missouri is special, and we fought hard for it, gang. We didn't get, by the way, we'll get into this again later. You got my word on this. The Missouri Sheriff's Association said drop the teeth and we'll support the bill. So did Eric Burleson drop the teeth? Did Jared Taylor drop the teeth? Nope. There was hardcore negotiations, and there was a language change from going after the individual in civil court to going after the agency for dollars. So that's the only way the Missouri Sheriff's Association would back off. And like I said, we'll talk more about this stuff after we get the bill signed. I've got a lot of stories for you guys. Okay, so this is the Gun Owners of America, or GOA. They have a pre-filled out email if you want to do this, and I'm going to link it down below, to be able to send out an email to the governor saying, please give us SAPA. And then also I'm going to link up with the Missouri Firearms Coalition, our good friend Aaron Dorr. He also has this going on. And by the way, if those of you who are in Missouri, please strongly consider getting a membership with Aaron Dorr's organization, the Missouri Firearms Coalition. I am a member, full disclosure. I get nothing for recommending it. But guys, you can do a membership for $35 a year. If you do $75, you get the t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. But $35 a year, gang. And of course, the lifetime membership, $1,000, that sort of thing. But please consider this. Aaron worked very hard to get this bill through. He did put a lot of time, energy, effort. He helped mobilize grassroots. I mean, it's the same basic thing I was doing, except he's more organized and has an actual, organization. And also, he made more trips to Jeff City. Aaron worked hard. If you guys appreciate Aaron's hard work, please consider a membership to the Missouri Firearms Coalition. Once again, no affiliation. I'm a member myself. So, all right, gang, that's pretty much about it. Just wanted to make sure that you guys knew the state of SAPA. The state of SAPA address on, let's see, it would be May 20th, 2021. So, at any rate, if you guys have heard 14 days, that is not true. So don't worry about it. We got literally all the way till July 14th. But that gives us plenty of time to send out an email once a week and a phone call once a week if you so choose to do, if you're in the state of Missouri. Please do help encourage the government or the governor to actually sign this extremely important legislation into law so we can move on to other important things. And once again, thank all of you. Guys, without you, this wouldn't have happened. Everyone, it doesn't matter what organization you're in. If you're in Aaron Dorr's, if you're in Truth, Money, and Freedom, if you're in Ron Calzone's Missouri First, all of you guys did it. Thank you. And it's a real blessing to know some of you. In fact, I just made a phone call to one of the Truth, Money, and Freedom members tonight, Resin Nunn. We had a great conversation, and I'm honored to know you guys, and thank you for everything you guys are doing. I really do appreciate it. And remember, we were doing it for our kids and our grandkids. At least here in Missouri, they'll have some rights. And when other states decide to become even more blue and follow federal regulations with gun confiscations or registration or, get rid of those AR-15s, force gun buybacks, whatever, people can come here to Missouri to enjoy that Second Amendment freedom because we just won't participate in that. The federal government wants to come into Missouri and take guns without help from local authorities. That's going to be a difficult task, and they certainly don't have the manpower to do it. But it sure would make me feel better if some of these other states had teeth in their bills. And I know they were negotiated out. So what we had here in Missouri was special. We had a lot of grassroots action. That's what the other states were missing. And I'm going to renew my request of everyone who watches Truth, Money, and Freedom. If anyone knows of anyone in any state that's doing what I do for their Second Amendment Preservation Act, doing a YouTube channel or constantly putting out tweets or Facebook mentions or whatever to promote their state bill, please let me know in the comment section. That way I can link them up if I can help them out with resources. But we need more states that have teeth, gang. We have to have more states with teeth. The more states that have teeth in their bill, the better off we all are. There's safety and strength in numbers when the federal government decides it wants to pass unconstitutional anti-Second Amendment laws. So, once again, gang, thank you for everything you do. It's an honor to know you guys. And I'll put out a video sometime again soon. By the way, we're going back to monetary stuff, silver stuff, economic stuff. We're going to start hitting that stuff again real soon, possibly as early as Sunday night. So with a live stream from the Discord. So we might have one of those again, roundtable discussion, talking about silver, the economy, that sort of thing. So if you guys like that stuff, and by the way, there's usually a lot of participants in these things. So it's not just my ugly mug and my ugly voice, actually doing this. We have lots of people participating in the conversation, and that always makes it more fun. It makes it more fun for me, too. I don't like being the only guy talking. So, all right, gang. You guys, once again, take care. Thank you for everything. May God bless you, and we'll see you next time.